Zdravo! Welcome to the next lesson in our A1 Serbian language self-paced video course. Previously we did lesson which is like something between 9 and 10, and today we're doing lesson 10 with totally new topic, which is locative grammatical case. Before we start with locative, let's exercise a bit more what we did so far. Here we have a list of most frequent verbs of movement in Serbian language. As I told you before, learning verbs is very, very important. Try exercising and learning the list of most frequent verbs in Serbian as much as you can. Let's translate some of the most frequent verbs here. Each idiom we mentioned before is to go. As I told you, we have infinitive first and then first person present tense, as you will find it in our dictionaries in Serbian language. Putovati, putujem, to travel. Poći, pođem, to start. Going or to depart. Vratiti se, to return. Doći, to come. Stignem, to arrive. Odem is, depending on the context, odem can be used in different ways. In past tense, ja sam otišao means I left. So let's say to leave. But in present tense, it can mean to go, but as a single action. That means that you want to focus on the end goal. You want to finish the movement on going. So you can say, hajde da idemo na žurku means let's go to the party. And it's kind of neutral. You're in process of going, or you want to be in process of going. It's undetermined how long the movement will be. But hajde da odemo, you're focusing on the end goal. Let's finish that movement. Again, it can be really tricky to know or notice the difference. So you can ignore, I guess, most of these changes of verbs and verbal aspects at the beginner level and focus on them after you pass B1 level. So, for example, at B2, that's when you should focus more on verbal aspects. Šetati, šetam is to go for a walk. Trčati, trčim, to run. Ući, uđem, to enter. And izaći, izađem, to exit. Now, not all of these verbs can be used with accusative. Some can be used with different cases. For example, izaći, izađem demands usually genitive grammatical case. Let's translate a couple of sentences using possessive pronouns as well. I have a big brother and a little sister. Imam velikog brata I malu sestru. They want to see my parents and my family. Oni hoće da vide moje roditelje. Masculine. Accusative, plural. I moju porodicu. Feminine singular. So porodica is a word which is in singular form, feminine, even though it has a meaning like of many people. Doesn't matter. Grammatically, it's feminine singular. On hoće da bude tata. This is an example of biti budem. Ona voli njenu babu I dedu. Now, some of you might have noticed that I use njenu instead of svoju babu or svojeg dedu. It can be njenog if you want to do different pronouns, njenu babu I njenog dedu. Svoj is used when a subject is performing an action or something which belongs to that subject, which can be used here. It can be svoj babu I svojeg dedu. But it can be njenu babu I njenog dedu, like somebody else's, which is again fine. I want to meet his relatives. Ja hoću da upoznam njegove rođake. Rođak, rođake, accusative plural, masculine. U Srbiji, locative, feminine, singular. And the last exercise is for practicing questions, using one of these pronouns to fill in the gaps and make a question out of it. For example, kako idemo u Novi Sad? How are we going to Novi Sad? Zašto Ana ne ide u školu? Koliko dinara imaš? How many dinars do you have? Kada putuješ u Niš? When are you going to Niš? Ko vozi autobus? Who's driving the bus? And gdje je aerodrom? Where's the airport? Some of these can have multiple answers. You can say zašto idem u Niš? Kad idem u Niš? But since you have to use one of each, at the end you should determine which one goes to which sentence by eliminating the ones that don't sound right. Okay, so new part is locative case. Locative, as the name suggests, location, it's used to ask a question where something happening. So it answers the question where. Now, accusative is also used for location, but the use is different. Locative asks where something happening, not where you're going to. So ja sam u kući, I'm in the house. In the house is locative. So we're asking where was, will, or is something happening. Doesn't matter the tense. Locative can also be used with preposition o, which means about. So whenever you have o, use locative after. And what's also interesting about locative is that it can only be used with prepositions. You cannot use locative without prepositions. U, na, and o are the most frequent, but po also can be used with locative. It means across or all around. Mi šetamo po parku. We are walking across or all around the park. Here locative endings for nouns. Prijatelj, prijatelju. So you have u, ima for masculine and neuter, singular and plural. And I, ama for feminine. Locative and dative will have same endings in singular, while locative, dative, and instrumental will have same endings in plural. Now, accusative and locative are frequently mixed, and it's really important to know why and how to tell it apart. Since both grammatical cases are used with preposition u and na, the question comes, if I have a preposition u or na, how do I know if I need to use accusative or locative? Well, if the context suggests that there is a movement to a location, you're going to use that location in accusative. If there is no movement to a location, it's locative that you need. So idem u park, I'm going to the park, but ja šetam u parku, I'm walking in the park. Walking, going for a walk is still movement, but it's happening at that location, so it's still locative. You're not going to the park, you're already there. Idem na posao, I'm going to work, but ja sam na poslu, I am at work. So accusative, locative. I'm placing the box on the floor, and the box is on the floor. Accusative here, locative here. So even placing things, putting, moving, pouring things, doesn't really matter. That also is a type of movement. You're moving a thing to a location. So if an end location, if you show an end location, if there is an ending line of your movement, that location will be accusative. Accusative, going to the location, locative, staying at the location. The thing that also doesn't help with telling apart accusative and locative is that they use same preposition u. Ja sam or ja idem u Srbiju, but ja sam u Beogradu. So idem u Srbiju is accusative, you're going there. But ja sam u Beogradu, I'm in Belgrade. That's locative, you are there. Both use same preposition u. So don't get confused. Cases can be used same endings, but there will be different cases. U for locative is for masculine singular, while u for accusative is used in feminine singular. Okay, so let's practice locative. Pause, do the exercise, and check with me. Ja sam u kupatilu, neuter singular. This is all locative. Marko je u školi, feminine singular. Ljudi šetaju u parkovima, people walk in parks, masculine plural. Marko reads the news at the website, web sajtu, masculine singular. Nenad works in post office, Nenad radi u pošti. Deca uče u školama, feminine plural. Ivana i Nena spavaju u dnevnoj sobi. In the living room. Feminine singular. Oni piju kafu u gradu. Masculine singular. Ima mnogo ljudi u selima. Neuter plural. And mačka je na krevetu. Masculine singular. So I'm in the bathroom, Marco is in school, people walk in the parks, Marco read the news at the website, Nena works in the post office, children learn in schools, Ivana and Nena sleep in the living room, they drink coffee in the city, there are a lot of people in the villages, and the cat is on the bed. Translation, in here you can use both accusative and locative depending on the context. So I'm going to Serbia, we have a movement, it will be idem u Srbiju. I am in Serbia, no movement, ja sam u Srbiji. I'm traveling to Belgrade, masculine singular, putujem u Beograd. Traveling to, accusative. I am in Belgrade, locative. Ja sam u Beogradu. I'm putting, so placing the book on the shelf. Stavljam knjigu na policu. Now with accusative, because we are moving the thing there. The book is on the table. Knjiga je na stolu. Locative. A little bit more here. We're talking about Marko. Pričamo or razgovaramo o Marku, o plus locative. We also change names, of course. She is in the shop. Ona je u prodavnici. Feminine singular. They're thinking about the tests. Oni razmišljaju o testovima. Masculine plural. Ja sam u kupatilu. Neuter plural. You want to be on the beach. Ti hoćeš da budeš na plaži. You want to be on the beach. The cat is on the window. Mačka je na prozoru. So this is feminine single, this is masculine plural. And he knows everything about Philip. On zna sve o Filipu. Masculine singular. So always do the exercise first and then check with my answers. I will only write the answers. And the last part. I want to be in Serbia. Hoću da budem u Srbiji. Locative. Right? Your black cat is sleeping on the pillows. Tvoja crna mačka spava na jastucima. Jastuci is masculine plural. They're singing our song. Oni pevaju našu pesmu. Feminine singular. They're talking about the car. Oni pričaju o kolima. Or it can be auto if you want to do that one. Neuter plural, don't forget. An auto is masculine singular. Because probably it was the short form of automobile. Some people say to auto instead of taj auto, which is also fine. So there are some occasions where auto can be neuter. Mostly it's masculine singular. Can you go to the shop? Da li možeš da ideš u prodavnicu? Are you in the shop? Da li si u prodavnici? Don't forget. Da li syntax for asking questions. And can we go home? Da li možemo da idemo kući? Now, kuća won't be an accusative. Whenever you're going home, that will be an exception. You should also remember that. Kuća will always be dative case, which looks the same as locative. That's the old change that happened. So whenever you're going home, arrive, whenever the end goal is home, always dative. Let's determine if the words are nominative, accusative, or locative to see if we really understood how this works. Idem u Beograd, the underlined word is accusative because there is a movement to Beograd. And also, you don't, always think at the level of the sentence. Don't think too hard. For example, if we say, I want to go to Belgrade, that will still be accusative. And some students ask, how is it accusative since the movement didn't happen yet, right? It doesn't matter. At the level of the sentence, I want to go, when you say go, you can ask a question, where to? And that's accusative. So you have a movement to that place. So it's it's a sentence level logic. Beograd je lep grad. Beograd is nominative case because we have a verb to be which connects to adjective and the noun. Beograd is a nice city. Mi smo u Beogradu. We are in Belgrade. Beogradu is locative. You're there already. No movement expressed here. Second part. On je spavao, a Miloš je čitao. Miloš. So he was sleeping and Miloš was reading. Miloš is nominative. So we have two subjects, on and Miloš. Miloš was doing an action, so the person doing an action is nominative. Tvoju sestru smo vidjeli u parku. Tvoju sestru is accusative. So we saw your sister in the park. Yes, accusative. You can start the sentence with an accusative. You don't have to start with a nominative. Nominative would be like we. We saw your sister in the park. But since that's the person we saw, so we directly transfer our action to that person, that's accusative. The last one, moramo da idemo u Niš danas. Niš is accusative again. So we have to go to Niš. The action was not realized yet, which is fine. It doesn't have to be realized. Where do we have to go to? Niš, which is accusative. So that's the difference between accusative and locative. In this part of the sentence, we're going to start learning the vocabulary necessary for getting around city and learning about different parts of the city. And then in the future, that will be expanded to directions and asking for directions. So I will translate these words. You can do it as well, and then check with me for the answers. So here's a translation of these words. Restoran and kafana. So restoran is the restaurant. Kafana is the Serbian style of the restaurant, almost like a tavern. If you ever been to Belgrade and Skadarska Street, you've seen kafanas, and they're a very important part of Serbian culture. And here's the second part. So using this vocabulary, you can expand your vocabulary related to the city and use this to write a text similar to this text I'm going to read here, explaining or describing the city you live in, and answer some of these questions here. Try talking about it with someone. You try talking about it with whoever you can speak Serbian to. So in the text you can write stuff about what can tourists and people see in your city, what can they do, what's your favorite place in the city, what's your favorite thing to do in the city, all in present tense using accusative and locative. So you can write a text like, I like to go to the park, I like to read a book on the bench in the park. So write this text having all the grammar topics we had in mind, and using it as a puzzle to compose your own sentence. So always have in mind what we did and use all the grammar that we covered to form your own sentences. At the end, I will read the text and translate at the end. Again, you can translate first and check with my translation at the end. U Beogradu. Danas sam u Beogradu. Beograd je jako lep grad. U centru su stare zgrade i nove prodavnice. Volim da šetam u velikoj ulici u centru. Danas hoću da idem na trg i da vidim staro pozorište i veliki muzej. Na trgu je i jedan spomenik. Popodne idem u kafanu na Skadarliji. Skadarlija je jedna stara ulica gdje su stare lepe kafane i gdje možemo da jedemo ukusnu hranu. U kafani hoću da pijem vino i slušam dobru muziku. Posle toga hoću da idem na Kalemegdan. To je veliki park. U parku je tvrđava. Na Kalemegdanu je veoma lepo. Volim da sedim u parku i slušam ptice i gledam ljude. Uveče idem u hram Svetog Save. To je crkva na Vračaru, ona je prelepa i mnogo velika. Vraćam se u hotel u 11 sati uveče. Danas je baš lep dan. As you can tell, the text only is consisted of present tense, city vocabulary, and basic accusative and locative. So I will translate. In Belgrade. Today I'm in Belgrade. Belgrade is a very beautiful city. In the center, there are old buildings and new shops. I like to walk in a big street in the center. Today I want to go to the town square and see old theater and a big museum. At the square, there is one monument as well. In the afternoon, I go to the kafana on Skadarlija. Skadarlija is one old street where there are nice kafanas and where we can eat delicious food. In kafana, I want to drink wine and listen to good music. After that, I want to go to Kalemegdan. It's a big park. In the park, there is a fortress. On Kalemegdan, it's very nice. I like to sit in the park and listen to birds and watch people. In the evening, I go to Saint Sava temple. It's a church on Vračar. It's beautiful and very big. I return to the hotel at 11 p.m. I return to the hotel at 11 o'clock in the evening. Today is a really nice day. So a couple of stuff regarding syntax and grammar. Hoću da idem na Kalemegdan. We use na, even though Kalemegdan is a park and you should use u with parks, idem u park. Kalemegdan is on a hill which overlooks the river below. That's why it's na. And in this sentence, na trgu je i jedan spomenik. We have i here, which seems a little bit weird. At the square is and one monument. This, when it's e is used like this, it means actually as well or also. So at the square, there's also a monument. And of course, if you haven't gotten used to talking about objects in masculine and feminine, here's one example. So it's a church on Vračar. Vračar is a district in Belgrade. So it's a church on Vračar. She is beautiful. When we say ona, we're relating to crkva, which is feminine. So when we say she is beautiful, we're actually saying it is beautiful in English, because we're talking about church, and crkva, which is church, is feminine. That's why we used ona. And again, velika. So that's it for this lesson number 10. We started locative. In the next lesson, we're going to do locative with adjectives together with nouns. Try writing a text, try describing a city you live in, or describe a Belgrade from your own point of view. And most importantly, practice and read Serbian every day. Hvala I vidimo se. Ćao!